Ladies, we are here tonight on the show. All right, so here we go. Wrestling news and then Monday night Raw recap. So Ronda Rousey already literally like 10 hours after winning the championship does an interview and pretty much says, yeah, there's not enough competition here in the tag team division. I don't know how long we can stay busy with this division. She says, I hope the company takes it more seriously because so the whole time she's been wanting to be tag team champion, and now she finally gets in. The first thing she does is complain about the division. Like what the hell? So maybe that's her thing. Maybe that's her why she wanted to be tag team champion because maybe she's hoping that her being tag team champion will get the division going a little bit more. I mean, come on, man. They barely have enough single women. They're not gonna. It's just very hard to get freaking every fucking tag team they've ever had is freaking made up. And then once they freaking lose the tag team titles, they go back to being singles competitors, man. Jesus Christ. Anyways, Alexa Bliss, I know she is gonna be having a baby. So now I don't think this was why the baby's gonna be born in December. So I'm assuming so then probably March when she got pregnant. So but yeah, I still feel like she's been out since what, January, right? So yeah, I don't think it was the full reason why she's been out all these months, but now she's gonna be out for a long time now if she's gonna be having this baby. So congratulations to her, man. So Alexa Bliss, another woman we can take off, along with but Liv Morgan and what's her name, Dakota Kai. That we will not be seeing her for a while. Alexa Bliss, man. But congratulations, Alexa. Anyways, Vince McMahon. So the belief is that most of the wrestlers have been told, have realized Vince McMahon is very heavily in charge, very heavily in charge and creative. But he is not at the arena. He does everything virtually back home in Connecticut. And said that they said that wrestlers, prefer if he's going to be in control to be in control virtually than actually be at the shows. So, but the belief is most guys know, yeah, he's still in charge. He still makes a lot of switches. But they said that because he's not in the arena, he can't be that controlling, especially when it comes to promos. So they have a lot more freedom with promos because he's not literally there to try to control everything. All right, and then Will Ospreay says he wants to re-sign with New Japan. He does not want to come to neither WWE or AEW because he does not want to live in the United States. I think he's Australian, isn't he? I don't know. But anyways, so he said, I'm going to do everything possible to re-sign with New Japan. So he's going to stay with New Japan. Night of Champions was the most pay-per-view show watched by ever since they started doing shows in Saudi Arabia. This was the most one that got the most views. Yeah, I mean, even the replay, right? I heard the segment, the main event with Solo, Roman Reigns versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. I heard that one has almost 10 million views, I think, on all social media platforms. So yeah, so it breaks the record for the most viewed show in Saudi Arabia. So congratulations to everybody involved, man, for doing that. And then something that they have been doing lately, they did it on Friday night to LA Knight. They did it. They've been doing a lot of during the Trish Stratus promos. They've been piping in booze. They did it, I think, a few weeks ago also for the Brock Lesnar when he attacked Cody Rhodes. I believe the night after Backlash. So that's something they've been doing a lot lately. They had gone away from it, especially ever since the last few years they've been doing both Monday Night Raw and Friday Night SmackDown Live. They've been kind of getting away with it, going away from it. But now it looks like the last few months they've started doing it again, and people are not liking it. You can tell it's 100% fake. But yeah, that's something that a lot of fans have been complaining about on social media, the fake booze, right? Or remember back in the day, they used to do it for Roman Reigns. They would put in fake cheers for Roman Reigns. But I don't know if that's a Triple H or a Vince McMahon thing. Who knows? But that's something that's really pissing off a lot of fans. The fake, the piping noise. And last, they said that a lot of some of the wrestlers said goodbye backstage at NXT after the show. They had Battleground this past Sunday, and they said that a lot of the wrestlers, not a lot, but some of them were like, "This was my final one." One is to believe Braun Breaker. He said apparently he's one that a lot of people are thinking that could have been his final show, but they just turned him heel. So a lot of people are saying they might want to keep him in NXT to continue to, get better as a heel. But a lot of people are saying they might be ready to bring him up. So that's a name that's being mentioned a lot as one of the names that could have wrestled his final match in NXT this past Sunday and could be ready for a main roster call-up. So we'll see what happens. But I believe we're done with the news. I believe we are finished. Let's see here. Yeah, all right. Let's go to Monday Night Raw recap here tonight on a so what was it? Raw, I believe it was May 29, 2023. All right, let's go, man. Here we go. So Monday Night Raw, man, from New York. All right, let's go. It starts off with Seth Rollins, man, walking down through the crowd when he used to be in the Shield, man. That was a nice little twist. And then, he's like, I'm happy to be here. Finally, you got a champion who wants to be here and is happy to be here to defend their title. And, he's talking about all that shit. And, the fans are chanting, you deserve it. And then AJ Styles comes out and he's like, hey, man, I had to come down here and congratulate you. I know I'm not a Raw guy. I'm a SmackDown guy, but I had to come here, man. And I'm here to tell you, you don't deserve it. You earned it. And he shakes his hand. Seth Rollins shakes his hand as well. And then freaking the Judgment Day comes out. I was like, hey, man, we don't only run Monday Night Raw. Now with what happened at Night of Champions with the Bloodline, we own the entire WWE. We run it. And they pretty much end up challenging each other. Rollins and AJ challenged them to a tag team match. And that were to be the main event. Ended up being Damian Priest and Finn Balor versus Seth Rollins and AJ Styles. That was the main event. Anyways, let's move forward. Let's see here. Adam Pearce is backstage. He's hesitating. He's a SmackDown guy, so he's on the phone. I'm gonna guess it's supposed to be with Triple H. And finally, he's on the phone, and Rollins and AJ are trying to convince him, "Hey, man, it's worth it, man. I didn't get all the way here just to not to do anything." And so I guess he convinces them, whatever. A lot of people are obviously frustrated with the whole that already. It's not even a month, and he's already a Raw guy, a SmackDown guy's on Raw. So they try to act like they had to pull some strings to do it, but whatever. Anyways, so then we have a Money in the Bank qualifying match, Ricochet versus The Miz. Nice little match here. Ricochet ends up winning. So it was good. And then we get a promo from Trish Stratus and pretty much saying, Zoe Starks comes out and, she's like, I have an opportunity here, man. I think Trish Stratus, and Trish is like, yeah, she reminds me a lot of me and shit like that. And then Becky Lynch comes out and she tells Zoe Starks, hey, you made the biggest mistake of your life. She runs in the ring. They start fighting, but obviously 2-on-1, Zoe Starks and Trish try to take her out. I wonder they're gonna have a rematch. I wonder when it's gonna be. Or I was wondering, is somebody gonna come out? What about if they bring Lita back to now be a tag team match? Lita and Becky versus Trish and Zoe Starks. Maybe that could be a possibility. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Zoe Starks and Trish tries to beat her up. And then we get that new tag team in the Soar, managed by Jinder Mahal versus like two locals, like two jobbers. Obviously, the end of the Shore win the match. And then we get a promo from Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. You know, they're like, "Hey, man, we don't." They talk like Sami's like, "Hey, man, Roman, I don't care. You know, you be champion for another 1,000 days. You be champion for the next 5 years. You're gonna go in the Hall of Fame. You will always know when you look at me and you look at Kevin, we beat you, man. We destroy your family." And then Imperium comes out and they challenge them to a match. Little funny segment here. They started calling the guy Baldy. But then they're like, "Hey, man, we already beat you twice, man. You don't deserve this shit." And then you have a match. Sami Zayn called them the American Alpha instead of the Alpha Academy. But then they come out. Hilarious stuff, man, with Chad Gable, man. Please. I love that shit, man. And then at the end, Kevin is like, "Hey, man, before you start the match, can you say the word? Can you say the word?" He's like, "What word? That word you do." It's hilarious. "I thank you." Really good shit, man. Freaking, they started a tag team match. Freaking Imperium versus the Alpha Academy, man. Freaking Valhalla, the girl from the Viking Riders. She comes in, she interferes, she runs Maxine Dupree out of the arena. By the way, Maxine Dupree, it looks like she's fully with the Alpha Academy now. I guess they finally dropped the whole took Triple H a while to drop that one off, but I think he finally completely did with the Male Maximum Models, right? It looks like that shit finally finished with putting Maxine Dupree with the Alpha Academy. She runs her off. They're distracted. At the end, Imperium wins. I don't care about Imperium, man. Like, come on, man. It's not like the Judgment Day or their Bloodline. Like, Imperium, Gunther's a star. These two guys are like jobbers. Nobody cares about Imperium. All we care about is Gunther. That's it, man. Anyways, let's see here. Then we get the women's fatal four-way match for the vacant tag team champions. Obviously, Shotzi, Raquel Rodriguez, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Chelsea Green, and Sonya Deville, and Bayley and Io Sky are your 4 teams. Good little match here. At the end, Shotzi goes off the top rope and she gets caught by Ronda Rousey. She gets put in the armbar and Shotzi taps out, and that's basically it. Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler are your new tag team champions. Then we get a match: Dolph Ziggler and JD McDonald. JD McDonald just beats the shit out of Dolph Ziggler. The referee rings the bell, just beats the shit out of him. They continue to try to make JD McDonald look strong, look tough. And then Cody Rhodes comes out, and he's pretty much talking about, "Hey, Brock, man, are you satisfied with what happened, man? I gotta win over you at Backlash. You gotta win over me at Night of Champions. But I did wrestle with one arm, man. I have a broken arm, man. Are you satisfied with this? You might be a beast, but you're not man enough to make me tap." And then he's like, "Hey, man, I'm going to be waiting all summer long, man." And, he said, I'm going to be in Wichita, Kansas City, New York, tells him all the places he's going to be the next few weeks. Like, whenever you want to show up, I'll be waiting for you, which is kind of funny because you would think if you have a broken arm, what are they going to have him do? They're going to have him wrestle in the non-televised shows, and then they're going to have him bring the freaking cast on for the TV shows. Jesus, I wonder how long they're going to sell the entry, right? I think they could wait until SummerSlam, but I don't know. We'll see. But he pretty much challenges them to another match. He's like, Brock, whenever you want, I'll be waiting for you, man. So we'll see how that goes. And then we get Matt Riddle and Gunther backstage. Pretty much, there's been talks, that they're going to freaking have Matt Riddle challenge Gunther for the Intercontinental Champion. I think this was maybe the start of it. They have a little segment. So we'll see where that goes. Then we have another Money in the Bank qualifying match. Shinsuke Nakamura versus Bronson Reed. I thought this match could have gone either way, but I feel because of the match, because it's a ladder match, it makes more sense to put the more athletic Shinsuke Nakamura in there. I feel like big guys are not for ladder matches. But I mean, it would have been if it would have been like an elimination chamber match, I think they might really put Bronson Reed in. But because of the style, it's gonna be a ladder match. You need a lot of athletic guys, so that's why I think they went with Shinsuke Nakamura. But they made Bronson Reed look strong. I think Shinsuke, what's that? Shinsuke kicked his finisher. I think he did it like a good King Sasha with like a good 3 times. Like they made him look strong, even though he lost. But I do believe it because a lot of it, the reason they had Shinsuke Nakamura is because it's going to be a ladder match. They feel like they can get more out of him in that ladder match than a Bronson Reed. And then, we get the main event, man. Seth Rollins, AJ Styles versus Damian Priest and Finn Balor, man. Obviously, Rey Mysterio, Rhea Ripley. They are ringside. They freaking did that one thing they did years ago with Shawn Michaels. Rollins slides out of the ring and he's like hugging Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley thinks it's Dominic. And then she gets all scared when it's Seth Rollins. It was hilarious. Eventually, Rhea Ripley and Dominic get thrown out by the referee. But it was a fun little match, man. At the end, man, Damian Priest is trying to pin AJ Styles for the win. And Rollins comes in and curse stomps him to break the count. And then he curse stomps him for a second time. And that's how Rollins and AJ Styles won the match. So good. It was a fun show, man. I thought they did a good job of, of not just having match after match after match. They did a good job of having match segment. I feel like that helps get the fans back to focus. Where if you just do match after match after match, people after a while just mentally, I feel like they check out. Because not every match people care about, right? Like, I don't know how much people are invested in like that. What's his name? DJ McDaniel guy versus Dolph Ziggler. I don't know how much people care about that. If you don't watch NXT, you're still trying to figure out who exactly the guy is. But yeah, they had the beginning with the Rollins and AJ in the Judgment Day. Then you have the Trish, Becky Lynch segment. Then you have Cody Rhodes. Then you have the Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn with Imperium. They did a good job of segment match, a nice little pattern. But yeah, man, we'll see what happens. Obviously, I think everybody's waiting for SmackDown, right? They want to see what happens with the Bloodline. So I think. But hey, man, I was kind of excited to see that first night how it's going to be for Seth Rollins, right? And as of right now, there's no opponent, right? Assuming he is going to be having a match at Money in the Bank for the World Champion, right? As of right now, we don't know. We don't know. They didn't really show their hand with that right now. I wouldn't be surprised if they're still trying to figure out, right? Since they're like, well, it's not for another 5 weeks. We have time to figure it out. But we'll see what happens, man. But until next time, holla.